Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Speaking of channel, let's channel. It's been a while since I have done a channeled message, and I'm feeling as though we can, so let's begin. I did not intend to do this. I just really have this strong urge to relay the message of that, it's important that we congratulate ourselves for the work that we do and for the effort that we do. It's not an easy task to be human and to deal with everything that we deal on a daily basis. And we simply just seek to perform well and to love and to be loved. And that is literally all of our desires all of the time. We, of course, want nice material objects and all of these things. And they'll come when you line up with yourself vibrationally. I've been doing a lot of studying. I study quite frequently anyway, but I go through periods of in and out when it comes to my intensity of studying. And recently I have been studying crazy amounts in many areas of my life. It seems as though when I study one thing, I start finding myself studying just in general throughout the day, one other topic as well. So I'm dual studying or I'm triple studying, and so I've been studying a lot of Abraham Hicks recently. And what I'm learning, which is insane, we all knew this, but what I'm learning is that your vibration really is end game. And I know you've heard it before so many times. For me, that's what I spout all the time. I always talk about the importance of maintaining a high frequency and being aligned with yourself. But how do we actually do that, right? It comes through a process of emotional regulation. And this is really challenging for people in general, for us human beings. It's the hardest thing to control your emotions. I know that specifically for me, when I'm happy, I'm extremely happy, it's kind of rare. When I'm angry, I'm angry and that's it. And when I'm sad, same thing. So we don't realize, though, that we are creating via our emotions, literally through our emotions. So your natural state is ease, well-being, joy, love, creativity, progression, expansion, forward movement. But we keep away our wellness from ourselves when we look at the problem and point at it and focus on it. One good example that my teacher, Esther Hicks, was giving was that, Western medicine focuses on the problem and treating the problem instead of inviting the wellness. So we treat the illness rather than inviting the wellness. And it has a difference. There's a difference between these two things. You don't want to treat the illness. You don't want to. Generally speaking, because to treat the illness means you are focusing on the illness rather than inviting in the wellness. The body has a remarkable way of healing itself naturally because its natural state is wellness, right? So if we just don't keep our wellness away with diagnoses and struggle and stress and strife and, oh, what am I going to do? Did you guys know that health is it keeps people away from themselves? Because let's say you have something wrong with your body, you feel under the situation, do you not? You feel helpless in the face of the situation, and you feel like you can't control it, even though it is your body, and via your vibration you do control what's going on, But often enough, when we're given a diagnosis or when we are faced with a physical issue, we are not taught metaphysics and how we work. So we don't know that we can, just by aligning our vibration to joy and ease and well-being and lack of stress, right? Any of that, we don't even want to think about that. We don't want to think about stress or illness or anything, because every subject is really two subjects. Even the word healing denotes that there is something to heal. There's nothing to heal. There's nothing to heal. And I used to post content a lot around healing and the concept of healing. I still do, but I try to now stay away from that word, because it's very true that every subject is really two subjects. When you think of healing, you think of the lack of healing, right? But when you think of wellness, it's a more general term, and illness as its opposite doesn't necessarily come to mind, right? But wellness and illness are two sides of the same coin. They are on opposite ends of the same stick. And so when you can invite wellness in, you keep illness away. Literally. There was a study done, was it Deepak Chopra? I'm not sure. I think it was. Yeah, Dr. Deepak Chopra. In which he studied how, depending on one's consciousness at the time of eating food, the food will retain a certain vibration as it is digested by you. So let's say you're super angry, you're super depressed, and you're eating, that's the term, eating your feelings. That's where it comes from, because quite literally you are causing the cells of your body you're associating your vibration with the food that you're eating, because you're eating food within that consciousness, within that frame of consciousness. So immediately the cells of your body register this process of eating as, essentially all of your worry thoughts are being digested. So the cells of your body, they take on this form. Do you guys understand? So that's why Dr. Chopra says, don't eat if you're upset. Don't eat. And I'm not going to get too much into the relationship that we have with food, especially on this side of the globe where I'm at, because Western civilization has such a backwards relationship with food. It's almost, it's just, we're not taught. It's unfortunate that we're not taught how to have an intuitive relationship with food and how to eat only when you want to, and stop eating before you feel full. Not when you're full, but before that, right? Moderation and balance is something that is the hardest to achieve with everything, but it should be the goal of literally everything, including food, And the thing about intuitive eating is that it actually directly translates into intuitive living. And so when we begin to live intuitively, we eat intuitively, we exercise intuitively, we interact with others intuitively, we are operating from our source, from our alignment, from the inside the vortex, as Abraham Hicks calls it. And in this vortex, there is the seed of creation. There is God frequency. It's very easy to tap into. You tap into it when you lose yourself in whatever you're doing and when time stops. You're in the vortex. You don't have to be a yogi to get here. You don't have to be religious, And I would also hope that, nobody really interprets my content as being religious, because I'm far from it. And I deal with the subject of metaphysics, so I hope that may clarify some things. But regardless, I say this just because religion has been misconstrued over and over again in Kali Yuga, in our current day and age, and wars have been fought over religion, lies have been lost over religion. Religion has become a nature of political disharmony, and separation. And I don't condone it in that sphere, at all. I don't agree with it, in the same way that I do not support politics. I have very specific views that are very alien, literally. So let's not get into that. So, because it's all a game, guys. It's all a betting game, but I'm not going to get into it. So when it comes to your natural alignment, which is the topic of conversation that should be present within educational systems and school systems rather than anything else, for example, in kids' school systems now, they're teaching politics and they're teaching the topic of gender and gender, separation and all of these things, right? Is that important? Let me ask you, is it important? Ask yourself, right? Because the things that should be talked about in school they should be educational topics that are important to the well-being of the human being, not confusing them further. Okay? So, what, Seema? What topics should be taught in school? I'll tell you right now. Fiscal management, the concept of money, what money is, how money flows like water, how money flows like energy, what energy is, how are we energetic beings, what is our direct relationship to energy, what is our direct relationship to money and wealth, what is our direct relationship to business and invention, What is alignment? What is balance? What does that mean? How do we align ourselves to ourselves? What is the chakra system? What are energetic points throughout the body that display health balance or imbalance? And how can we explore that? What does it mean to be intuitive? How can I live more intuitively? How can I be more in touch with my own body from the inside out rather than from the outside in? How can I disconnect from myself from the matrix? You know what I mean? System that is constantly throwing fear, stress, negativity, worry, and anxiety in our minds and hearts. This is what should be taught in school systems. So as far as I'm concerned, whenever I have kids, whenever that may be, if it is to be, they're getting absolutely mansion schooled, not homeschooled, mansion schooled. Thank you so much. Literally, like, I'm not with the educational system that has been perpetuated for centuries, because it's an indoctrination system. It teaches you how to be poor. Okay? It does. And, we figured out early on. I remember being in 4th grade and tuning everything out, literally, because I was like, what is this? Like, why are we learning about history when the history is history? Number one. Number two, it's probably fake. I was 9 years old saying that our textbook was fake news. They just want you to learn how to memorize stuff. Now, what I will appreciate openly is learning and curiosity. Like, if you're curious about history, be curious about it. Learn the fake news, and it should motivate you to actually learn the real news about history. Same thing with everything. But if your curiosity is non-existent because you are in a habit of memorization, then yeah, my friend, like, you don't know how to think. You are being taught how to memorize. You're not being taught how to think. And you must become sovereign in your own being and within your own mind so that you can teach yourself how to think. Thinking is an art. It's an art. It's a skill. It's a skill set to learn how to think. And we learn how to think by practicing free thinking, thinking that is not bound by anybody over our shoulder telling us what to think. Free thinking involves exploration. It involves being an explorer of the world around you and of different subject matters in relation to the world around you and in relation to you. You are the focal point of your life and should be treated as such. You are quite literally the most important person in your life. And all the knowledge and all the things that you even see every day, all the knowledge that comes your way, it should serve you. It should serve you, right? That's why, filter out information that doesn't serve you. There are a lot of people that are super into conspiracy theories and everything. Does it serve you? Is it making you either health, wealth, or relationships? It's not. And I say this very lovingly, but I say this with intention because I want you guys to understand the importance of knowing what you need to know. It's important to know what it is that you need to know. And it's important to also be able to discern what do you not need to know, and don't focus on that. Same thing with the wellness illness situation, right? The two sides of the same coin. It's important to focus on wellness and to not focus on illness. Okay, there's some illness happening around you or in the world. Great. Don't look at it. Why would you want to look at it and give your attention to it unless you want more of it? This is how metaphysics works. This is actually the study of metaphysics, but this is more specifically how the nature of energy works, actually. Because energy is transferred all of the time. It is constantly in motion. That's why change is the only constant in the cosmos, in the universe, in life, because energy is always moving. It's always moving. It's always moving from a high point to a low point, and from a low point to a high point as well. Definitely. But it's harder because there's more entropy involved. And you can actually take energy from a low point to a high point within yourself, within your body. This is what it means to invite wellness in. Okay, the doctor saw something, just as an example, right? The doctor saw something, you have some diagnosis, whatever. Are you going to believe it? Because your belief dictates the outcome. it dictates the outcome. So if you believe the diagnosis will be true. If you decide a different diagnosis for yourself, I'm telling you guys, if you decide a different diagnosis for yourself, and if you decide, you want to know what? I don't agree. I don't agree whatsoever. I disagree. And I don't believe you, that this is my diagnosis, like just as an example. You don't have to say this to anybody, of course, but within yourself, this is what it means to be sovereign. Within yourself, you can decide, I reject, and instead I will accept a new diagnosis. Okay. And you can decide whatever that is. You can take yourself from a really potentially scary situation at a doctor's office, just as an example, to a entrepreneur who is on their way to become a millionaire in a matter of a few months, who has no sign of illness, who has abundant wellness within and around them, who is light, jovial, free, expressive, healthy, happy, interacting with the world. This is our power, guys. And you may say, oh, it's impossible. If you think something is impossible, you have decided that it is impossible. And so for you, yes, it is impossible. Maybe not for someone else, but for you, yes, it is. It's quite literally impossible because you've decided that. You have decided this, So we decide all the time what our life is, depending on what we believe. And by the way, you don't have to go in and dismantle like heavy belief systems within your subconscious and meditate for 30 days and fast. No. You can decide within a moment. It just takes 1 second for you to be like, you want to know what? I don't believe you. Or I don't believe that. I believe this. Okay. And that's it. And that's your belief. You can do this. You have the power to do this. Animals can't do this. Human beings can do this, So use this power. We are always constantly believing something anyway. You might as well believe what you want to believe. And consequently, have the life you want to have. Okay? Do you guys know what I mean? I'll give you a very simple and primitive example as a girl. So, this is like so primitive, but I'll just give you this example. So I used to struggle very much with my physical appearance, and I didn't like it at all. I did not. Even still, I find myself, but I'm doing the work to remedy that. And it's very easy now. Because I've practiced a vibration of confidence for a long time, but before, like years ago, and when I was younger as well, I did not like how I looked, especially when I was a very young girl, like when I was a teenager, years and years ago. I was very unhappy with how I looked. And so what do you think I did in order to counterbalance that? I would push. I would try makeup techniques. I would try like facial massages before they were even like popular or anything like that. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I would try, to like use my hands to like massage my cheeks and stuff. Like seriously, I would try different makeup looks and I would test things out. I would take selfies and I would make the selfie the reality and not the mirror, and I would, this is another thing I would do. When I would look in the mirror, I was doing like mirror magic at like 13 and I didn't even know it, but I would look in the mirror and I would only look at the things I liked, and I would not even put my eyes on anything that I didn't like about like my face or body or anything. I'd only look at and so what do you think happened? They enhanced, like actually, like literally. And the world started to notice things that I liked about myself as well. People would tell me, oh, I like your eyes. I like your blah, blah, blah. You're so blah, blah, blah. And I would think to myself, okay, this is my reality. And so slowly, I wouldn't think that. I would just think, yay, or something. But slowly, what started to happen is I actually found myself more and more pretty as the years went by. Like, I felt more and more pretty. And so because I felt it, guys, you have to understand, reality is moldable. You can mold it. You can mold it. Nothing is set in stone because of the nature of how energy is always moving, like I said. So you can literally mold matter. This is quantum energetics. You can do this with anything and everything. Your body, your health, your money, your relationships, everything. It all depends on how you feel. It all depends on your frequency, your vibrational frequency. So anyway, so I've done this, and of course I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I was doing any of this. It's only later in life that I realized, like, oh, hey, I could have been quite insecure. I could have stayed quite insecure. I had puffy hair. I had buck teeth. You know what I mean? Like, I had pale skin, like, as a kid. Like, I was really, chubby face. Like, and, people, I was bullied for it. Like, people told me that before I did any work ever, internal work ever. People told me that. They said, because I was bullied, right? When I was really young. And so people would tell me, like, oh, your hair, something, like this and that, And so when you're a kid, everything affects you. You're so sensitive, And so I actually used what they said and I changed myself, so I started to straighten my hair and I loved it and I always did it, and I would always do it. And then later on, I didn't like my hair color, so I would dye it, because that's what I preferred. And so slowly I became more and more and more of what I preferred, and life began to conform around me to what I wanted. Because I would work. I would do the work, both internal and external, and I would also, because the internal work is actually literally hypnotization. Like, this is what meditation is. This is what breaking belief systems actually is. It's hypnotizing yourself and your mind into a new idea, a new belief, Like I said, you don't have to go in and dismantle all the belief systems you have. You just need to decide, belief by belief, what you want. That's it. And so then you're automatically, immediately in a state of power. All of your power is condensed into the now, depending on what it is that you decide right now about anything in your life. It just depends on what you want. So, like, for me specifically, many, many years ago, oh God, this is another example, but I'll give it to you. When I was younger, much younger, I always wanted to do YouTube and to have a YouTube channel. And so my biggest fear for the longest time, or my biggest roadblock, was, how will I ever put a YouTube channel link in the bio of my Instagram? We're talking like 2015, 2016 here. And so, and because I would just think that, okay, great, everybody from my high school is going to see my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? And now, everybody in the world that knows me or doesn't know me has access to my YouTube channel. And that's perfect. That is, and so that's expansion, it took years. Do you think that, I grew overnight in confidence about it, and I just, no, but it started slowly. It happened slowly. Actually what happened is I met a girl who had a website, and she put the website in her link in bio, and I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. I want to do that, and I want a website. So I made a website and I put in the link in my bio, and slowly I just kept creating more and more things, and now my YouTube channel has many videos on it, and this is going up there as well. And I'm able to talk to you guys, give you information and energy, So action and practice will actually give you confidence in anything that you do. Like, practice is my favorite word, really, because I personally don't believe in like special, specific talent. More so, I believe definitely in inclinations in people and gifts. Everybody is unique. I believe in people's expressive birth chart and how their planets line up, and I believe in all these things. But I don't necessarily believe that, like, as a singer, Miss Ariana Grande is more talented than any other singer. I just think that people are different, you know? People just sing differently, just as an example in the category of singing, you know? So why do I think this? Why do I not think, oh, she's more talented? No, there's no such thing as more talented. She's more practiced in what she can do. So practice is my favorite word, because it trumps talent. It trumps specialty. It trumps luck. Okay. And instead, you are immediately given the understanding that everybody has an equal playing field, because everybody can shore up their vibration. Every human being has the ability and responsibility to manage and align their vibration. It's an equal grounds that we're on. Of course, you have the nature of karma and what's decided and all these things, but I'm not talking about the broader perspective. I'm talking about what you can do for yourself right here and right now in this moment. You can decide. You can decide anything that you want about any subject that you want. Literally. And this is how people generate millions of dollars. This is how people generate millions of clients or followers or whatever. It's through alignment. And you can look at somebody and see what they've been practicing. Like, personally, for me, have I been practicing that vibration? No, absolutely not. You can see that, you know. But if you take someone with millions of followers, they have been practicing the vibration. So we are always given clues, like, to what's going on internally. We just have to pay attention. We just have to make the connection between the outer world and the inner world. When you study your life, and when you study time cycles within your life and seasons that shift and change within your life, you can see the energetic momentum that has built up before then. You know, like, for example, I had something kind of crazy happen to me in the beginning of the year. And it's because I was feeling crazy, like, not in a good way. Like, I was feeling off. I was feeling stressed out. And so I attracted a negative circumstance that cost me a lot and cost me a lot of loss and all these things, because that's what I was vibrating to. You don't necessarily have to be thinking of the exact specific incident for it to occur, whatever it is, positive or negative, right? No, you just have to be having a certain vibration, and whatever vibration you carry, it will result in some result. It will result in some occurrence or some indication of your vibration, some experience for you. So maintaining your vibrational frequency is more important than brushing your teeth. It's more important than the food that you eat. It's more important than the friends that you have or don't have. It's more important than the business you run. It's more important than anything, because it is well within your power to manage and control, and it comes first. It precedes physical reality. It always precedes physical reality. Physical reality is just a mirror to what's going on within. People around you are just mirrors to what's going on within. That's why we can never blame anybody else for anything ever. Anything that that we experience. And you may be arguing with me right now. I can hear somebody. I can hear somebody saying, but Seema, what if somebody did something to me? Not true. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as somebody doing anything. Nobody can do anything to you unless you energetically allow for it to happen. You may not have said it out loud. But the vibration, the beat that the drum that you've been beating has been of that specific vibrational quotient, you see. So you will attract some situation or circumstance where someone, quote unquote, did something to you. No, my friend, it just looks like they did. It just looks like they did. Do you understand that this is how it works? So you are the operant power. You are always in full, blissful, loving control of everything that you experience. You can choose where to focus and direct your attention. And in doing so, you can move energy. You can manipulate energy. This is the nature of alchemy. We manipulate energy all of the time. We're just not cognizant of it. The faster that you become aware of your ability to manipulate energy, the better you will be able to use it on things that you actually do prefer, within your life. So that's what I had for you guys today. I love you so very much. This was a beautiful channeling session, so to speak. I had so much fun with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a huge thumbs up for the algorithm so everybody can hear this message. Leave me a comment down below and tell me your experience with this. Give me energetic exchange and give me a message in return. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Everything that I post is for you, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.